Hi, I'm Robb Seltzer. I'm the Director of Food and Beverage Operations and Executive Chef at the University of Central Florida, Rosen College of Hospitality Management. But we're a university, so we're a place of learning and higher education. We offer degrees in many specialties. Uh, where I am at the Rosen College of Hospitality Management is actually the largest hospitality college in the world, the United States and the world. We're number one in the United States, and we offer multiple degrees that are all focused on the hospitality industry. Well, I have two jobs, as I kind of said. I'm the director of food and beverage operations, so that means I manage all of the kitchens, all the chefs and staff. We have three different kitchens at the Rosen College, very modern, and so anything that goes on in there, from renovations, we just rebuilt them, to uh, my staffing, managing, say the chefs and the cooks and the lab assistants, because we teach students about food. We're not a restaurant. Uh, they're actually teaching kitchens. So I manage all those. I'm also the head chef. So when it comes to catering, things of those types of events, I oversee all of that as well, and I teach. So part of my day is also involved in working with students and teaching them as much as I can about the hospitality industry and how food relates to it, and I try to share my, wow, 45 plus years of experience. I found enjoyment in most everything that I did because, as we'll talk in a minute, I did a lot of different things in my career, and each one was a great learning experience, and I really try to enjoy what I do. So I can't really say that there was something that I didn't like as far as a job or a position that I held. Uh, First of all, you never know where you're going to be. I never planned, at least not in the beginning, to teach and be where I am at a university level. I started off, uh, and this story is a little bit involved, but so I went to college, and I was going to be a politician. I was going to get a degree in political science and public administration, and I was in college a long time ago, and it was a very politically active time. But that only lasted about 2 years. I left school, and that's when I got introduced to the restaurant industry, and I worked in restaurants. And actually, the first introduction was fast food, or what we call quick service restaurants, places like McDonald's, Burger King, and such. And that gave me a great base that I started with. I did that for a year, went through management training, and then I went back to school, and I went to Michigan State, where I got a bachelor's degree in hotel, restaurant, and institutional management. So that's what we would call just a hospitality degree today. From there, boy, I did so many things. After I left Michigan State, I actually went out to a culinary school in Rhode Island. Uh, but when I got there, because of my degree, instead of being a student, I became an instructor. So my first job was teaching. So I've gone full circle. And after that, I went back to Michigan State to work on my master's, which again, I didn't finish. So we can start and finish. Don't get discouraged because you don't finish something. Just have uh, that goal and objective to make sure you do. And I worked in some restaurants. I worked in catering. I ended up as the executive chef at the University of Notre Dame, the Fighting Irish. I'm sure you've heard of them. And from there, I ended up in large event management, which is what I really like. I found out in the earlier part that I wasn't really a restaurant guy. And there's so many opportunities out there besides working in a restaurant or being a chef in a restaurant. And most of the times I was the chef. I was the executive chef at Notre Dame. I was a chef at these other restaurants and operations. From there, I ended up getting into convention center management, which are, where we have big meetings and events and arenas and stadiums and racetracks. Eventually, I ended up in Florida, here in Orlando, where I was the general manager at the Orange County Convention Center, which many of you know. And that's a very, very large facility. And I managed all the food and beverage operations there. I left there eventually. You see, this is a long road that I'm going down. And I ended up getting into what we call distribution. So these are the companies that deliver food to food service operators. Places like, you've probably seen trucks for Cisco, SYSCO, which is where I went for 9 years. You've probably seen trucks with US Food Service on them, or Cheney Brothers, all these different uh, distribution companies that manage the what we call the supply chain and make sure that all of our food service operations have the products they need in order to serve their customers. I like that business a lot, distribution, so I eventually opened up my own. So I ended up having an Italian specialty foods company, and we imported Italian food, Italian wine, and coffee, all from Italy, and then sold that directly to pretty much fine dining, high-end Italian restaurants, and to hotels, and also to retailers. And we did that for about 11 years. And after that, I then went back to education because I was at that point where I wanted to really give back, which is what education is really about, sharing all my experience. So I taught at the Le Cordon Bleu, the French culinary school, for 6 years. And during that time, I got my master's. I went back. Remember, I said earlier, you got to remember, if you stop, interruption's okay, but just make sure you finish that goal. So I went back and got my master's in education, which then opened the door for me to go to the university level at UCF, which is where I am now. I've been there for 4 years, and it's great. I don't plan on going anywhere else. It's a great place to be, and I get to have all the fun of being in a kitchen, and also get to teach and work with students like you. That keeps me young and is very rewarding. So if you listen to that trip that I took, you'll see that you never know where you're going to go. You have no idea where your career is going to take you. So just make sure that you keep looking at those opportunities and let them take you where they may. Well, there's a couple of things that you need to do. One, you definitely need to do well in school, and you need to make sure that you do well in all aspects, because this industry is, people don't think of it as a kind of a STEM area, but we are very, very math and science oriented. Cooking itself is a science, and so you have to understand the chemistry and the biochemistry and even the organics and the math that is used in order to create recipes and those types of things. So it's real important you do that as well as the business. And so you got to do school. I really recommend that you go for at least the bachelor's. And then whatever you do, make sure you have fun. You got to enjoy your work. And this is an industry, and I'm not going to lie to anybody, it's a very hard working industry. And we always told our students, especially if you want to be in the culinary side, you really have to love it, because it's really, it's a lot of hard work. So if you don't enjoy it, you're not going to do well. So study, have a plan, and just make sure you enjoy what you do. And if you're ever in the area, and come by, have your parents come on down to the Rosen College. A little plug we're down on Universal Boulevard near the Convention Center, and next to the Rosen Hotel, the big Shingle Creek. Come down and visit. We do a lot of high school work with high school students and even younger. So if you want to see what it's all about, come on by and we'll do a tour, show you our kitchens, and meet some students and see what this college is all about.